live on the first official Dorm Talk for the Walk Off Sports blog. Tim Tully here with fellow co-founders George Chunius.
You.
Dave Souza.
What's up, guys?
Always happy to see everybody. Matt Prisco.
How's it going? Got my buddy Bill in the background, too.
We're going to hope to get this out to you guys once a week. Really no rules altogether, talk whatever. We try to keep the language mom appropriate, but all of our moms have different standards for that, so it can get a little wild in here.
And it's gonna.
All right, we'll start off hot. The topic very dear to, I'm sure, all your hearts. Last week, Tom Brady had his suspension removed. It's still removed.
Yeah.
And this week, ESPN has decided, hey, you know the Patriots cheated before. Cheated. So,
at least you can admit with the quotes.
No,
At least you have a brain in your head.
Is the smear campaign. And I know, Matt, you obviously have something to say about that.
So you're admitting it's a smear campaign?
Absolutely.
I mean, the timing is hysterical of this. We all know the deal.
Water under bridge.
Yeah, you know, we all understand the deal here. Brady had a suspension, completely vindicated. Everything's gone because it was total bullshit. And I think that's been made clear to anybody with common sense. And ESPN decides the minute that the suspension's vacated, Chris Mortensen went into hiding, Mark Brunell's drowning himself in his own tears somewhere, they decided to talk about Spygate. They did an OTL report on Spygate. They even called Marshall Faulk, and even Marshall Faulk refused to do their stupid OTL report because it didn't make any sense. So this absolutely has been a smear campaign from the beginning. I called it Framegate, okay, and I think that's probably the best way to put it. It is Framegate. This has been total bullshit from the start.
You know
Is anyone disagreeing here? I feel like I'm just saying the obvious.
No, so you know when Marshall Faulk comes in? Marshall Faulk has been so outspoken, being like, they totally cheated, like they taped our walkthroughs. When he's like, yo guys, like, maybe let's tone it down a bit. You know you're just losing your mind. You're just going insane. When the person who's literally the craziest person out there about this is being like, let's calm down here. You know you're
no new information in the report.
No, the thing...
It's like they just re-released what they found out like 7 years ago. They're like, I don't know if you guys heard this, but like, they taped like the Jets' defensive signals like 7 years ago. Like, I don't know if you guys heard.
George, what do you got?
Yeah, this is the thing. This is what's been bugging me about this whole thing. Throughout the whole process, some of these stories that are coming out are just absurd. Like if you go back to like the friggin' Sal Pal thing, like his theory on the UGG boots and shit, like we're bloggers, we can just like make up whatever the hell we want, and no one cares. But like there are like legitimate media outlets who are just saying like nonsense. Like, did you see the San Diego Tribune thing the other day?
I tweeted that today. Oh my god!
The Patriots like may have cheated their way to like costing the Chargers like a Super Bowl and like a new stadium.
That's ridiculous.
You can't like there's standards in media. You can't just say shit and like you can't do that. If you slap like opinion piece at the top, maybe, but you can't just like legitimately just like randomly speculate on shit.
All standards go all out the window when it comes to the Patriots. We've learned that all throughout the the last 7 months. Nobody cares. You read articles like Greg Doyle saying the Patriots are always going to cheat. They've always cheated, and Belichick should be fired. Robert Kraft should be fired, which makes no sense at all. Nobody cares. There's no standards when it comes to the Patriots, and there never will be until Belichick's gone, until Brady's gone, until they suck ass again.
My by far favorite quote in the entire post from the San Diego Tribune is they were talking about the 2007 season when the Patriots played the Chargers in the AFC Championship game. The year the Patriots, in the regular season, went undefeated and literally curb-stomped every team they ran into. That guy goes, the Chargers were down 17-14 at halftime and were obviously the better team throughout the year.
Yeah, I mean,
are you an imbecile?
I think you're gonna get Tim. I want to hear your thoughts on this, coming from the neutral, because I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, we all know where I stand on this issue. I think
the problem that came up was obviously I thought Deflategate there was fault. However, I thought 4 games was ridiculous. It's banana land, as Dave Ward would say.
Well, it's the only way to put it.
Any game would be ridiculous.
First round draft pick is extreme. I think it should have been a slap on the wrist and a fine. Especially if they say it's everybody's doing it, then fine. fine everybody for it. It's not affecting the game. It's not. And it's a 50-point game, and they're trying to smear it that he does it every game, and this is why they're so good. And the problem is, what comes out is the Patriots won the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's over. They won.
Go ahead and vacate.
So you can't take that away. So it's not like you can prevent down the road just for doing that. So I think the problem is, like, it's over, great. But now the Spygate thing drops now. It's over. Just let it happen. You have 2 Monday night games this week, right? You get San Francisco and Minnesota. Adrian Peterson coming back, and then you have the Eagles with everything that happened to the Eagles. Right?
Even San Francisco's a unique storyline.
Yeah.
So, like, promote that. Just kill the off-season stuff. Let's get ready to watch some football because I'm sick and tired.
That's what pisses me off about ESPN this whole time. Is they've been like last 6 months shoving Deflategate down our throat, and then it finally comes out like, okay, the Brady's like suspension's vacated. Like everyone knows the whole thing was bullshit, and they can't just cut their losses and let it go and be like, all right, here are the NFL storylines we got this week. They have to just they have to bring in Spygate and shit, just keep dragging this out. Like you're making
all this is, George. All this is, guys, and this is the last thing I'll say on this issue for me personally is that what ESPN did is essentially a microcosm for what this whole thing has been. As you said, it's been a smear campaign. They just literally have taken everybody. They took what? They said 90 anonymous sources. Some were supposedly old Patriots coaches. First of all, if you were an old Patriots coach, wouldn't you have come out and said something during Deflategate? Okay?
Or even Spygate when it happened?
Spygate. That's a good point as well. Basically what they did was that they took everybody that got curb stomped by the Patriots. They took, and they had them interviewed. Do you know who the only 2 people who said that they would give out their identity were? Were Mike Martz, who got his ass kicked in the Super Bowl in a game that he should have won 1,000 times over, but he got out-coached, and then Bill Polian, who is the man that bitched and moaned the entire time to get the rules changed so that the Patriots would stop bullying his Colts. These are the type of people that you brought out to talk about the Patriots? All it is this is just a microcosm for what the whole event has been for 7 months, not just from ESPN, but from multiple media outlets. That's all this was.
My favorite. You want to go ahead, Tim? Or
I'm ready for football.
My favorite thing in the world was they were saying how former Patriots assistant coaches would just stroll into opposing teams' locker rooms and just cherry-pick their playbook and leave. Like, you do know if any of that happened, especially with all this camera stuff that they've been talking about, it would have been seen, like, years ago. And you really think the other team's just like, oh, like, quick, I just need to come in for a second and borrow every single play in your offensive playbook.
Who was a coach that said the other day that they used to leave fake stuff for the Patriots? Like, he said that they used to leave, like, fake play sheets.
Probably Peyton Manning because they're in their heads so much.
All teams would do this, not just when they're playing the
Patriots. I'm not sure.
I think it was Mike Shanahan. Mike Shanahan when he was talking about the Redskins.
Shanahan's a supporter.
Which is ludicrous because Mike Shanahan, like, out of all people, is just absolutely one of those skeptical people in the world.
Yeah, he's a supporter.
Of the crazy storylines that have come out like this past week, like with ESPN doing all the Spygate shit and like just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks with the Pats, the one about the Pats like intentionally giving the opponents warm Gatorade.
That was a fun one.
While everyone else plays checkers, because I fucking hope that one's true. That is a savvy coaching tactic. That's just gamesmanship. That's just gamesmanship at the highest level.
Warm Gatorade? I actually haven't heard that one.
You haven't heard this one? They said
it's so good.
It's warm Gatorade, and everyone like bitch about like, oh yeah, we didn't get the electrolytes, couldn't win. Like,
see, my favorite thing is though, like, if the Patriots did give them warm Gatorade,
I agree. I think it's time to move on. This is ridiculous.
Last point. If the Patriots did give them warm Gatorade, that is 100% a competitive advantage because warm Gatorade is like drinking straight piss. It is awful.
Absolutely.
Like if you drink warm lemon lime Gatorade, like I am sorry. Like no excuses there.
It's just a sports drink. You don't know if it's Gatorade. They don't sponsor us. So.
That'll product placement.
Topic number 2. We're going to talk about Bob Griffin.
Jesus Christ.
Oh boy.
He used to be a starting quarterback for the Washington Redskins, and now he's just another Washington Redskin.
He's another Subway guy.
Subway, have a week, dude.
Subway.
Let's hope he doesn't go down the same road as Fogel.
Oh.
Yeah, let's hope.
Ooh.
I don't know. Anybody have anything to say about this? I think it's kind of.
Oh,
Go ahead.
George. All right, 2 thoughts. Neither of them are football related. One, the writing was on the wall from the beginning with this guy. Like, as nasty as he was in high school, like, the guy tore his ACL like 8 times. Like, you knew he was going to get hurt. He's like that fucking guy from SpongeBob who's like, every morning I break my arms, every afternoon I break my leg. His like is made of glass. Like, you knew this shit was going to happen. 2, and also, why are they trotting him out there in the like preseason, having him run like options and shit? They know he's just going to get murdered. And 2, go ahead. Oh yeah, 2. In anyone see in Moneyball that scene where like they're saying like he's got an ugly girlfriend? Like, what does that matter? It's like he's got no confidence. He's got an ugly girlfriend. Like, that's fucking Robert Griffin III. Have you ever seen his wife? Like, she is not as hot as she should be for an NFL quarterback. Like, clearly no confidence. I could have told you the day he was drafted if I had seen his wife that like that. This is what was going to end up.
Hold on, Tim. So you're saying Robert Griffin's?
Come on.
What?
She just had a kid. She's a gorgeous woman.
I'm saying no. She's pretty. She's very attractive. Like, she's well out of my league. But I'm saying like,
Dude, college quarterbacks have hotter girlfriends than her. Like, look.
I'm with George. Tim.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm with George too. Like, look at any quarterback that plays for any school. Like, no
The
offense,
nose,
George.
the nose.
DC football's
I'm
terrible.
with George.
How hot is that quarterback's girlfriend, though?
Ugliest quarterback in the NFL. It's Robert Griffin III.
Probably.
He's the ugliest
Dude,
quarterback.
Andrew Luck.
Andy
Andrew
Dalton.
Luck with that neck beard.
Look,
You can't throw the G in front of RG3.
Can I quickly?
he's in the bottom 3.
Can I? Can I
Okay,
quickly?
I'm not giving bottom 3. I'd have to evaluate.
Okay, guys, we're talking over each other. We got this.
Can I quickly get to? I just have one quick point to make about Robert Griffin. You know, this quarterback situation is hysterical in Washington. It's been funny from the start. I mean, like, if you look back a couple years ago, I'll say this in his defense. You know, I never thought he was going to flourish into what I think Andrew Luck is going to be, especially what I think Russell Wilson's going to be.
Good point.
But you know, if Mike Shanahan didn't decide to if Mike Shanahan didn't decide to essentially execute him against Seattle by leaving him in the game, I guess you could. I mean, really, you could honestly charge Mike Shanahan with manslaughter. I mean, it was awful. The guy was hobbling around on one leg, and they're like, "Oh, take him out." And he's like, "I'm keeping him in." So
He's going to sue him for loss of wages real soon.
what?
He's going to be suing Mike Shanahan for loss of wages real soon.
What? What'd you say, Dave?
Shanahan was a Cousins guy.
Oh no, I heard you. I didn't hear what Dave said. He was mumbling in the background.
Sorry, I got a microphone over here. You know, I'll just take this out.
But real quick, I will have to say this though.
I can't hear anyone now. Plugging it back in.
Fucking, or put your flipping headphones in.
Hello.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll just get to my point. Look, he was never really going to be much if you really look at it. His rookie year was incredible. He threw 20 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. I mean, that's elite quarterback touchdown interception ratio. But if you thought that he could continue that throughout the entirety of his career, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. He had incredible speed, okay, at the time. Gets injured. Obviously, that's going to decrease. If you look at what he's doing wrong, the problem is it's not like things that could be, you know, fixed once he gets back to full health. He's not getting the ball out in time. Plain and simple, he doesn't get the ball out in time. And it doesn't have to do much with the offensive line, which isn't good. But even when he has time, he doesn't have NFL timing on his throws. And I'm not going to make it seem like I think Kirk Cousins is any form of an elite or even a starting quarterback in this league, but he at least does have a better release than RG3 and a better perception as to when to get the ball out. I mean, he was solid in the preseason for the most part. I did watch him throw an interception that basically looked like something my 4-year-old cousin could have picked off if he threw it in his direction, but for the most part, not bad. Not bad, and despite the efforts of some to say that Colt McCoy should be in there, I don't think that's gonna. I think it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, no, I think Cousins is definitely a better quarterback for that system. I think the quarterback that RG3 was going to be is obviously a better quarterback, but that didn't work out, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's time for. They obviously want to take the loss. Snyder doesn't want to take the loss. I think what has to happen is they have to release him, and Jeff Fisher and the Rams have to sign him. I think it's the only way that they can stick it to him, right? They have all those draft picks.
They get all the big.
Holding field goals, right?
Honestly, they can. No. He doesn't even have to have a purpose on the team. He could just go out for the coin toss every time.
Make him a captain.
Motivational figure.
Like just, you know what I mean? Just have him doing the tweets.
So you're saying you just want RG3 to be on the Rams as like a walking middle finger, basically?
That's essentially what he'd be.
When Sheffield was on the Tigers after the Mets signed him for $50 million, he's like, I'll park cars.
That's a good one.
$25 million to be here.
That's a good one.
So, I don't know. You guys, we want to move on?
I got a little something to say. RG3 to me is like a slower, less skilled, way more injury prone Michael Vick, except nowhere near as good. Like
that was a reach.
That is the biggest reach I've ever heard. That's like comparing Kirk Cousins to Tom Brady. Michael Vick was like, I don't know if you remember before he started.
No. Michael Vick is good. Michael Vick was good. I'm talking about post-jail, like broken collarbone Philadelphia Eagles Michael Vick before he flushed his before he flushed his career down the toilet by going to the Jets. Like this guy, literally, he can't take a step without
Michael
absolutely
Vick flushed his career down the toilet when he went to the Jets. Not when he created a dogfighting ring.
Well, I mean, like, his skill just went to absolute shit as soon as he went to the Jets and was in a quarterback battle.
I don't think he went to shit when he went to I don't think he went to shit when he went to the Jets. I think he was just like there's no more gas in the tank. That's what happened. Like that's why you go to the Jets. You're like,
yeah, see, that right there, the running out of gas, Michael Vick, is RG3's entire career, except for like that first couple of games during the first season when he was good. After he absolutely shredded apart his ACL, it was so uncomfortably awful to watch.
Can we just move on with RG3 sucks ass? Is that a better way to put it?
Who would you rather be? RG3 right now or Michael Vick when he was accused of being caught dogfighting?
I'd rather be Michael Vick in prison. I would rather be Michael Vick sitting in prison looking at a concrete wall while, like, big, huge Bo Jackson-looking motherfucker is staring at me like I'm his next meal. 10 times out of 10,
that was too interesting.
Yeah, that was so
you feel bad. You feel bad seeing
I didn't need the detail there.
RG3 go down because he's a good dude. He does a lot of good stuff. Yeah. But at some point, like after the story last year where he was punting on the practice field, like the boss kid. I know you hear a lot of stuff about entitlement issues, but all right, call that quits. Speaking of Michael Vick, that's Virginia Tech. Let's move on to another Virginia Tech quarterback with the cockiest move of the year.
That was awesome.
He get hit in the first half, and he got smoked.
Yeah.
In the first half, in the locker room, you get the camera in his face, and he turns to his buddy and he says, "It's going to take a lot more than that to take me out." And then what do you know? Later, he got a lot more than that. Is Elvis Washington knocked him out of the next 5 to 6 weeks.
He might be drinking through straws after that.
Yeah, my dad said he's not going to be eating in 4 to 6 weeks, nonetheless. So, college football wrap up. Obviously, the Ohio State Buckeyes coming out 42-24. Huge win. I thought, from a student standpoint, that at the first half we're like, this can't happen again. This team can't win again. And then Braxton Miller went, and
I like your spin move. I like your spin move on Twitter better than his. To tell you the truth.
Let's see if I can get that. If I can put that in this.
I thought you were far more athletic than Braxton.
That was literally like a Madden move.
I'm lost for words with what Ohio State's doing right now. What they're doing is they're taking all their great quarterbacks, putting them everywhere on the field, and just saying go. And it's unbelievable. I mean, literally. How the hell does Braxton Miller wind up looking like Jerry Rice? Okay, Cardale Jones, and I've always been a big supporter of Cardale Jones. I've always thought, not always. I mean, he's only been around for 4 games.
All right, hold on 1 second.
Oh, we getting your spin move up?
Yeah.
Oh. Now this is a must see.
Gotta see it.
The most unathletic spin.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Oh, ankles. You pay that kid a visit in the hospital?
Who was
I
that?
did not.
Who was that?
I was just some girl crossing the street.
Was she terrified?
Yeah. She wasn't as terrible as the two guys I did it to before.
Okay.
I was thinking about putting it in my story.
Interesting. But, no, yeah, I do have to say, it really wasn't hype whatsoever. I actually thought, believe it or not, Braxton had an incredible game. And Cardale, I'll say this, I don't think he played particularly well for his standards against Virginia Tech, but I will say that there's nobody like him in college football in the sense that he has the ability to make NFL throws like nobody else. He is the best arm strength I've seen of a college quarterback in a long, long time, which really does make a difference when you get to that pro level, because a lot of the times they're slow with timing when they finally transition into the pros. He's so good that he's going to have a quicker time adjusting. And I'm really optimistic with this team in general, because not only did they wipe out Virginia Tech in the end of the day, regardless of what would have happened, if Virginia Tech starting quarterback had stayed in the game, and they're getting Bosa back, they're getting a couple other guys back. I'm trying to think. Dontre Wilson's coming. Excuse me.
Jalen Marshall.
Jalen Marshall will be back. Corey Smith. They're going to be a little bit better. So.
Yeah, I think. Well, a lot of people saying that if the Virginia Tech quarterback was in the game, it would be a whole different thing. Dude, that Virginia Tech, the backup who threw a touchdown, that was the JV team that he was playing against. You know what I mean? Some of those guys, like I followed the team, I didn't know, and they made a couple of good plays. One of the guys, I think his name is Holmes, forced a fumble. They picked it up, but when Joey Bosa comes back, dude, Adolphus Washington, the guy who crushed. Dude, they have to double team Joey Bosa.
Absolutely.
That's why Michael Bennett was so good last year.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to have Sam Hubbard. I think this team, I mean, they don't play a lot of tough teams, I give you that. But
I don't doubt them repeating.
In a long, long time.
Yep.
And I was Team JT Barrett. Like, I was shocked. Like, what?
No, because he was having a record-breaking year.
I don't know how he picked Cardell, and I saw after he said he started off the last game, his job to lose, which, it's kind of a poor precedent to set, saying you lose your job to injury. But Cardell Jones was a stud. You know what I mean? Like, JT Barrett's awesome quarterback, but I feel like Ohio State is a championship team with Cardell. Like, you feel like every play, and you feel like it's like the ball, it's a snowball. It just keeps getting, and then like a snowball with a fuse in it, it explodes.
You must be in your glory.
Dude, this is gonna be awesome.
Syracuse football, as I said.
We had a loss, and I was like, this is still fun. Dude, playing the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors on Saturday night, that could be a barn burner, right? And then Western Michigan or Northern Illinois, we don't play a real team until like the middle of October.
Well, we played Rhode Island, and with our second quarterback, we were able to win 47-0. So
I would have hammered the under in a Rhode Island versus Syracuse football game.
Well, even with that being said, I still have no faith in this football team whatsoever. So I just wanted to make mention of that with Syracuse football. Anybody else, if they have an opinion on college this week, Ohio State or not.
There's one thing I need to throw out to Tully. I hope you sit there and realize how goddamn lucky you are to get to go watch that team play. I was watching that game and I'm like, no one's gonna beat this fucking team. And then I realized that half the team was suspended. When you boast something, you have Ezekiel Elliott, Cardell Jones.
That's the thing. The best player on the team too.
The number one pick in the draft, undisputably right now, is Joey Bosa.
Yeah. No, and I'm sitting here. Dude, I'm sitting here at Alumni Stadium watching BC in the lowest scoring contest ever with Maine. It was 3-3 at halftime, and if our quarterback got hurt, we're throwing in some ginger twig kid who's Doug Flutie's I don't even know special nephew or something. If your quarterback gets hurt, then you're throwing in goddamn JT Barrett. It's not fair.
Dude, JT Barrett, I think, is a better quarterback. But I mean, as a leader, too, all the times they show up, that should be a drinking game. Take a shot every time they talk about JT Barrett's leadership. He's on the sidelines, patting everybody in the head. How do you not love JT Barrett? And then
he's good.
Cardell's spinning on the sideline. You want to hate Ohio State. but you can't. We're the Patriots with personality. Right, Dad? How about that? We're gonna put that.
Yeah, you're the
top of my
Patriots with
blog.
personality, except the Patriots have personality, and everybody fucking hates them for no reason.
What is it?
Other college football.
And you guys got anything else? Frankly,
Can I say anything, please? What
no.
is it?
You
Tim,
got anything else on college football?
yeah, what is it? Tim, I just want to start out by saying appreciate what you guys have right now, because the closest thing we have to football here at BU is like when Jack Eichel throws a football before a game at Aganis, and that's about it. And then it pains me to say this.
You do not have Jack Eichel anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So even now, it's even worse. But what is it like? It pains me to say this because I'm a big Michigan fan. I have not seen a better college football team than what I saw on display not last night, a couple nights ago against Virginia Tech. It was literally like a Madden game where you play on franchise mode and you win every game 59-3 and you go undefeated for like 4 years in a row.
Well, couldn't we all agree that they didn't even play well, Ohio State, for their standards?
It was like Zeke had 11 carries and he had 130 yards. So they just.
And one of them was an 80-yard carry too.
Yeah. So what? On his last 10 carries, what do you have? 45 yards.
Still pretty good.
So even that's 4.5 yards a carry.
Still pretty good.
Get the ball because Virginia Tech you can't run on us. We're a bear defense.
Yep.
So Ohio State ran the ball 25 times, had 300 yards.
Yep.
And Braxton had like 8 carries. Cardell had 10. That's the one thing about Cardell too. They give him the ball so much, he runs so much. The dude takes a hit every time he gets the ball because he's not fast enough, but he's strong enough. So it's literally like Madden where you create a player, but these players get hurt. Like you create the player, you make it to the second quarter, and he gets hurt. Like Cardell doesn't do that.
And he's funny on Twitter.
He is funny on Twitter.
He's a riot, man. He's a fan favorite across the board.
Why don't we stick with Twitter? You guys want to move on, or you got anything?
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, God, yeah.
We want to be done by 11:50.
All right. Let's go over. I think I've warranted this time to go over my absolutely nutty week on social media. You know, first of all, can we just start with Chris Mortensen following me on Twitter? That is amazing. That is amazing.
And you don't follow him back?
I don't follow Mort. I asked.
You were tweeting at him.
No, I tweeted at him because he followed Austin Woolman. Okay?
Oh, Austin Woolman stole my sneakers freshman year.
Ooh.
That's a good representation.
Never
of the
forgets.
person he is. That's a good representation of the person he is, and we'll leave it at that.
I can get something for you.
But quickly, Mort follows me on Twitter because I asked. I did. I have been DMing Mort since he started following me, asking him numerous questions about the Patriots. I also asked him other things. I asked him how he was doing and if he wanted to watch some Netflix and chill, and that didn't go over well. None of it's gone over well because he hasn't answered me. But
how have you not been blocked?
It's gone dark.
I don't know. He still follows me. But that's just – I just wanted to say that because Chris Mortensen may be silent at the moment because he's a coward and a fraud and a piece of shit. But well, there are worse members of ESPN. But he is alive. He followed me on Twitter. So that's just in case anybody wanted to know. So let's go to my Denver Post story. If everyone's cool with that.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Highlight of the night.
Did anybody? What were people's thoughts on this? Did anybody actually read the article?
I read the article, and it was something like absurd. It was like reading a piece from The Onion. The guy was just talking the whole time. He's like, "Well, T.J. Ward got suspended for allegedly beating the ever-living out of someone, but because his last name isn't Brady, it won't get overturned." No, it won't get overturned because he beat the living shit out of another person.
Well, I don't think he beat the living shit out of somebody. What he did was he assaulted a waitress at a strip club, which you can't do either. You can't be doing that either.
Either way, like
not accepted.
if you get an assault charge on you,
I don't know.
It's not going to get turned over because you're not Tom Brady. It's not going to get turned over because the police had to get involved because you were physically abusing someone.
Well, that's the whole point. So, I mean, here you are using logic, and Tim also using logic. Great point. Why go to a strip club? It doesn't make any sense.
Why not have a Broncos team party?
You can hire the best quality strippers.
Rent it out.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
You have the money.
You know how much? Like, just rent it out. Have the girls come. Like, I honestly don't know too much about it.
Neither do I. I'll be honest. I agree. I don't
So
know
my
much.
question is, does TJ Ward make the same big deal at the movie theaters when they say you can't bring in your own popcorn and your own food? Like, do you think he starts flipping out at all the vendors there, or does he just sneak it in a purse?
Well, listen. So here's the deal. So I'll just quickly go over this. What happened was, TJ Ward was at a strip club. They said to him, "You can't have drinks outside." So he decided to assault the waitress, naturally. And Kistler decided to write in his article, well, you know, it's funny how the golden boy of the NFL, if you're a star quarterback, you can get away with deflating footballs, but, you know, TJ Ward isn't allowed to throw a tantrum in a strip club. Well, you're not allowed to throw a tantrum in a strip club. And if anybody, and this was the point that I made to him on Twitter after reading this, if anybody thinks that Tom Brady got away scathe-free, you're a freaking idiot. I mean, I don't think anybody with any form of common sense would think that. What he's been enduring over the last 7 months is something nobody in the league should have to go through, especially if they didn't do a damn thing. So, and they have absolutely no proof of it. So I tweeted that at Kistler, and he comes back at me, "You mad, bro?" No, I'm not mad.
It's fantastic.
First of all, who says that? So, and what's funny, I think but that's the funny part. He was mad because he blocked me. After that, he blocked me on Twitter. So I was I was positive. I'm not mad.
No, this just goes back to my earlier point about, like, just the media circus that has been the whole Deflategate saga. Like, we have people coming out saying, like, deflating balls is worse than assault. Like, that was a legitimate claim this guy made, is that, like, deflating balls is a much worse offense than assault. And then he's just, like, randomly chirping people like Briscoe on Twitter. Like, what the hell is happening to the media landscape that this is what's going on?
And it's like you said, the circus goes on with even reputable people. I mean, don't get me started with the New York Post and Bart Hubbock. I mean, the fools that they've made themselves look like with him.
I'll tell you what, one thing that's happened is, you know, the page views aspect of it. I don't know why anybody would use the Brady argument anymore. It's so beat, nobody wants to read it. But the Patriot fans attacking these people, I mean, do they get a rise out of it? Not the Patriots fans, the writers.
No,
so why are you writing these articles that are that you know it's just gonna drive you? Like, let's just stop.
No.
I quit Deflategate. I blocked the word Deflategate on Twitter, so I don't see any of it. I blocked Tom Brady. I blocked Roger Goodell, and I blocked Bart Huppick.
That's all.
I don't want to read any of this.
No, but you make a good point. That's all these are. They're all trolls. You make a good point. That's all these people are trolls. And that's all I said. I wasn't really mad or anything. But then he keeps going on this tangent about, you know, he's like, yeah, it's a new concept in America, innocent until proven guilty. Really? Because Tom Brady's had to spend the entire time throughout the 7 months, 8 months, however long it's fucking been now, trying to prove that he didn't do anything when they had no proof against him. So that's funny how it's applicable in that sense. And then he goes absolutely bizarro and ends the conversation with, and the judge did the right thing by erasing the suspension after I pointed out that he didn't do anything. And I'm just like, so why did you put that in your article? None of what you're saying makes any sense. I get no response. That's all it was.
Yeah.
No response.
NFL.
I absolutely.
Final word, then we're gonna move on to NFL Week 1.
I'm just saying, I absolutely love how everybody's tweeting now, like, oh, the judge overturned Tom Brady's suspension. Like, what are we supposed to tell our kids now? It's okay to cheat and then get away with it? No, just tell your kids that if they didn't do something and they get accused of it, don't say, all right, you got me. Like, don't be an absolute idiot.
That was a piece of shit. That's what
basically.
All right. You going week 1?
NFL?
Week 1. So, we're going to go 5 games. We're going to go around the circle one by one. Just who you got winning. And then we're going to end with a mortal lock and a Super Bowl pick.
Okay.
So first,
do we want to talk about why or just say it?
Well, Super Bowl pick we'll do at the end. You can explain that, obviously.
Okay.
Matt, we got Patriots, Steelers. This is going to be a tough decision for you, right?
No, the Patriots are winning this game. Steelers can't keep up with anybody in the Patriots wide receiving core, even if LaFell is doubtful or wherever his status is.
He's out till week 7.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's not going to be playing. So if you really look at it, nobody's going to be able to match up one-on-one with Gronk. Nobody can match up with Edelman. Pats win this game, even if their defense is a little suspect. Antonio Brown's still going to have a good day, but they don't have Martavis Bryant. They don't have Le'Veon Bell. Pats win this game.
Yeah, Pats by about $1 billion. Like they're gonna be. I mean, the Gillette's gonna be so fired up with like when Brady comes out of that tunnel, it's gonna be absurd. The Steelers have like half their team suspended. It's just gonna be Pats by a lot.
All right.
I'll just say this: the Patriots are raising the banner, and even with Jimmy Garoppolo under center, they were still favored by 4.5 points. They might not have their defense out on the field because they're just going to be scoring so many points. The Pittsburgh Steelers might just quit like 12 minutes into the game. It's going to literally be a rout.
I certainly think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to get to play a significant time, regardless.
he actually might because it'll be that big of a blowout.
What they do is, I think Belichick, like, if you get up by 2 touchdowns, give him a series. Like, the stadium will go nuts. You know what I mean? Give him a series.
That will be his greatest troll act of all time.
Right? So, obviously, Angry Brady is game over.
Yeah.
I said last year, after the Chiefs
You
game,
did after the Chiefs.
I tweeted out the night after, I said the Patriots are going to annihilate the Cincinnati Bengals. And, you know,
You were right.
Tom Brady, Angry Belichick, Angry Brady, self-aware Gronkowski, like, no chance. Garoppolo might play the entire second half. Just because Brady's like, you know what, kid, I'm going to give you this. So, all right, we'll move on. Eagles-Falcons.
Yeah.
Throw your winner in. Matt.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I've always been not a big supporter, but I've been a supporter more or less of Sam Bradford. I think he's going to come out and have a good start to the season. Not convinced he's going to be able to continue it, not necessarily for health reasons, but he hasn't been able to prove that he can do it continuously throughout the year. But he has more upside than pretty much a lot of quarterbacks in the league. I think him and the tools that he has around him, even DeMarco Murray is going to have a big game. Falcons won't be able to stop the run. I'll say Philly wins the game.
All right, George.
Yeah, Chip Kelly is just literally insane with what he's been doing. I don't know, like he got like Bradford in there, and the guy was just like proverbially hurt and running offense. So I don't know what he's doing. He's got DeMarco, that's good, but I mean, I'll take the Eagles just because I think it's so crazy it might work. But that's just like a shot in the dark. I hate to pick against Matty Ice, but their O-line is horrible, and he gets sacked like 20 times.
They're horrific, and he sucks.
Yeah.
It's not even going to be a contest. The Eagles are going to win. Like,
You think the blowout?
I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I think it's going to be one of those games where you look at the score and think it was close, but then you look at the game on the field, and the Eagles are just going to dominate in every facet. Like, the only weapon that Matty Ice really has is Julio Jones. He's got Roddy White, but he's like 20,000 years old, and Julio Jones is going to get shut down by is it Byron Maxwell that the Eagles just got in the offseason?
Byron Maxwell can shut down Julio Jones?
I think he can.
Chip Kelly, like, owns my brain. Like, everything he does, I'm afraid. You know what I mean? He could sign, like, Randall Cunningham right now, and I'd be like, like, what is he doing with Randall Cunningham? So, also, every Chip Kelly opening night, they have rolled. Like, just what the hell is happening? All this crazy.
Yeah, they scare the league.
I don't know, in this year, I think it's his 3rd year, that they're going to come out and maybe be figured out. But David Quinn is the coach of the Falcons now. He was the Seahawks defensive coordinator, so maybe they'll be a little stronger defensively scheme-wise. And
They certainly will.
Shut down the Eagles every time he's playing against the Eagles. However, the Eagles are always hot on opening night. The defense is going to be rested. The reason the Eagles haven't succeeded late is because they don't possess the ball. So once you get to December, these guys are so dead. That's like DeMarco Murray ran all over him in that Sunday night game. If you get one bad bounce, it's game over. So the first couple weeks, I think the Eagles are going to start 2-0. I think they're going to go right off the bat, beat the Falcons, and beat the Cowboys in week 2.
Wow.
In Philadelphia. So,
Wow, okay.
I mean, that takes a lot for me to admit, because that's how convinced I am that the Eagles are going to work at the start. Once the defense gets tired,
Yeah, that's what I was saying, too.
Injuries start piling up, and once Sam Bradford comes down to earth, because Sam Bradford is going to be the best quarterback in the NFL this month. This month, I promise.
Literally what I was saying.
Like, if Sam Bradford is available in your fantasy league, take him, and do whatever you got, because he's going to win the first 4 weeks. They're going to be so good. But once everybody figures out what he can't do, they're going to try to make a move. If he can move a little bit at the start of the year, that's going to be fine. And if the running backs are fresh, DeMarco Murray's going to get hurt this year. It's just a matter of when. Like, he got hurt every year except for last year, right? Yards. He had 800 yards before contact. That's ridiculous.
All right.
That's not even Madden. Like, you make a move in the backfield of Madden.
Let's not wish DeMarco getting injured. Let's roll the next
I'm
thing.
not wishing it. I'm not wishing. I have him on my fantasy team. I'm not wishing. I love DeMarco Murray. I also love that he said, when they asked him his favorite Sunday Night Football moment, he said, when we beat the Eagles last year. I cried.
Oh, that was nice.
So, all right, we'll segue right in. Cowboys, Giants. Matt, go ahead.
I actually think it's going to be a tight game, even though Victor Cruz, who everybody was expecting to be back, is not going to be back. I think it's going to be actually a tight game. I think Dallas wins though. Overall, just better team.
Yeah, same thing. I've never been a Giants guy. Eli's just not a consistent quarterback. Even with the loss of Murray, I think the Cowboys are still strong enough to win this one.
Offensive line too good.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm a little bit on Georgia's side over here, where it's like the loss of DeMarco Murray is going to be tough for them, especially. I'm not really sure who they're going to go with for their running back, because they have Darren McFadden and they also have Joseph Randle. But the thing is, their offensive line is so good that Tony Romo's going to have forever to throw, and whoever they choose as running back, even if it's like Lance Dunbar, they're still going to just be able to find all the holes because they're going to have blocking all in front of them. And then obviously you have people like Des Bryant, and you even have Cole Beasley. And I know the Giants are coming in. They got a good second-year wide receiver in Odell Beckham Jr., but I just think the Cowboys are going to win this one. It's going to be close, but the Cowboys are going to win like 24-21.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is going to turn one of those games where Tony Romo, Cowboys can run in the first half. The second half is going to break open. I think it'll be close at halftime, and then they can pull away. But the division NFC East games, man, it doesn't matter how good either team is, and I don't think that Eagles, Giants, Cowboys are going to be three of the top 12 teams in the NFL. Not record-wise, but talent-wise and everything. And I think Skandrick being hurt, not being able to shadow Beckham, like you saw last year, what happens when Skandrick doesn't cover Beckham? You know what I mean? Like, Brandon Carr, I love Brandon Carr, but can't make that happen. But I think the Cowboys are going to be able to, especially without Jason Pierre-Paul. You know, the dude is a Cowboy killer. And when he hasn't played well, the Cowboys win, and vice versa.
And when he has four fingers, that helps too.
So
that'll hurt you.
He's not showing up, and even with four fingers.
Yeah.
So he'll be watching it, hopefully controlling the remote with his left hand. And I think the Cowboys win that one.
Okay.
But, all right, so next we're going to go Denver, Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm under the impression this year that Peyton Manning is on the steady decline. Anybody that thinks he's going to be in, I believe actually Chris Mortensen reported that Peyton Manning is in the best shape of his life. So it's obvious now. I mean, it's 1,000% clear. 1,000%. What?
How good of shape is that? You've seen Peyton Manning. He looks like me.
Well, like I said though, he does. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's rocking the dad bods like a lot of us here, but. For years, that worked for him. He was fine. He's still one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. The only problem is you can't throw, Joe Montana on the field tomorrow, and he won't be Joe Montana of old. Peyton Manning won't be Peyton Manning of old. And Mort sealed the deal. They're not going to be the same team this year. I actually, and you wait till we do our Super Bowl predictions. I'm a big fan of Baltimore. I think Baltimore wins.
Yep, George.
Similar to Prisco, I have a different outcome. I got Denver winning the game. I do believe Peyton Manning's definitely on the decline. You can see at the end of last year is like just from a fantasy standpoint, his numbers declined. His arm wasn't what it was. He didn't have the zip on the ball that he's always had. I think that they have enough weapons offensively and a strong enough defense that they can take down the Ravens. But it'll be a game.
Yep, Dave.
I don't know who I hate more, Peyton Manning or Terrell Suggs. So for me, this is a lose-lose scenario. But just because Baltimore's defense is just going to be so physical, especially with Peyton Manning throwing ducks out there and like getting hurt with his ankle last year, I just think their front seven are going to be way too much. They're going to overwhelm Peyton Manning and his offensive line there. I don't think the Broncos are going to have what. Go ahead.
Offensive line is not good in Denver this year, like really bad.
Yeah, and I think the only thing Peyton Manning's going to be able to do is going to be able to throw cross routes to Emmanuel Sanders coming over the middle, similar to Julian Edelman in New England. I just don't see a way the Broncos win this game. I think they keep it close, but I think the hard-hitting Raven defense is going to take out Peyton Manning. I think Ravens will win.
It's a real toss-up. You never know which Denver team you're going to get. You know, the dominant team, and they play a real team. And they play the Patriots, and they play the Colts. Colts, all phony team.
Yeah.
You know, I think the Ravens and the Colts are very similar in the fact that they get hyped up to be a lot better than they are. And this year, they both look like they could actually be pretty good.
But the
I'm going to
Ravens
take Denver because it's in Denver. I just think being in Baltimore is a much bigger advantage for Baltimore. And I'm not completely sold on the Ravens just yet without Haloti Ngata. I think their defense is going to take a couple games to become the dominant Baltimore defense. You know,
No.
they don't have.
But do they need to be this year?
Terrell Suggs is, old.
Yeah, but dude, he can still
still
hit.
He's still great. But I think Denver. It's going to be interesting to see how Peyton Manning starts.
Yeah.
Because the last time they played opening Sunday night, Peyton Manning threw 7 touchdowns against Baltimore. So I don't know. All right, we'll move on. We got to wrap it up pretty quick here.
Yeah, well, let's go as quick as we can.
Right across the board, just your winner.
Yeah.
Buffalo, Indianapolis.
I say Buffalo wins the game.
Indianapolis. Indy.
Indy.
I'm going to go with Indianapolis.
It's in Buffalo.
All right, it's in Buffalo. Yeah, but it's Andrew Luck, man. All right, Matt. Super Bowl.
Okay. So I know a lot of people are probably not going to like this, but I'm not picking the Patriots to go to the Super Bowl this year. And why? It's simply because of the fear of the unknown. And I think that there's more unknown on this Patriots defense than there is for those guys out in Baltimore. I think they've been knocking on the door for a long time. They finally broke through a couple years ago. Joe Flacco, whether you like him or not, whether you find him to be an elite quarterback or not, which I certainly do, and I know nobody really agrees with me, and that's fine. I think he has the numbers to back it up. I think he's been the best. I think he's been the best playoff quarterback of the last 4 or 5 years, and I think Baltimore gets to the Super Bowl. I, with Jordy Nelson, would have picked the Green Bay Packers to go to the Super Bowl, and without Jordy Nelson, I'm going to predict that because of his absence, although it will hurt somewhat, I think Adams has a bigger year, and I think he has a bigger impact, and I still pick the Green Bay Packers to go to the Super Bowl. And Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers win the Super Bowl this year for me, against the Baltimore Ravens.
Packers over Ravens?
Yep.
George?
I have to be biased. I got to go with the Pats. I think just purely based on the offseason we've had, after the Spygate season, we came out and had the undefeated regular season. I think the offense is still there. We'll get LaFell back. I think what's his name? Guy from Marshall will step up. Help me out there, Prisco. Wide receiver. Marshall, wide receiver.
Dobson?
Dobson. Yeah, I don't know why I blanked on his name.
Brandon Moss?
I think the offense is going to be there. Brady's going to come out. Brady's coming out on fire. I think there is uncertainty in the secondary, absolutely, without Revis and Browner. But I think McCourty will do a good job anchoring the D. NFC, I'm going to just pick the rematch. I'm going Seahawks again. I think Jimmy Graham, their offense is retooled. That's another facet. I think get the passing game going more than they have in the past few years. And the defense is just absurd. So I think Pats win it all.
Dave?
For the AFC, I am going to go with the Patriots. But it is going to be one of those years similar to 2011 where you think this team is good, but their defense is so bad, their secondary is so god-awful, there's no way in hell they deserve to be there. It's going to be one of those you're watching the AFC Championship game thinking, like, there's no way the Patriots win, and by some miracle of God, they're going to pull it out just like they always do. NFC, it's really hard for me. I'm kind of torn between the Pack and Seattle as well. It all depends on when Cam Chancellor comes back and if he comes back. If he takes a couple of games off, that might hurt him in the beginning, and that might hurt him in the long run. They might get a bad seed and a bad matchup. But if he only is out this first week with a contract dispute, I think they're going to come back and they're going to roll through. Seattle was really good last year. They only lost Byron Maxwell on the defense, and they added Jimmy Graham, who's arguably one of the best tight ends in the game. Like, he is one of the best tight ends in the game. He's arguably the best with Rob Gronkowski. So I'm doing Patriots Seahawks. I think it's going to be another nail biter. Give me the Pats.
All right. I think it's been a long time for me. I think I'm ready to believe in the Indianapolis Colts.
No! Stop!
Dude!
Stop!
Don't get me wrong, their offense is going to be fantastic.
Wait, listen to me here. Listen to me here. We all get a chance.
The Chiefs have a better
The
chance.
only way the Indianapolis Colts go to the Super Bowl is if they get the number 1 seed. Because they will not win in New England. Right? We can agree on that. You can give me that?
Yes.
If Andrew Luck can be Andrew Luck in the playoffs, I think they have a chance to take over the Patriots.
I'm still waiting for Peyton Manning to be Peyton Manning in the playoffs, too.
Hey, I'll let you talk.
Now, Tim, I
haven't even said who I'm going to pick. Because I'm going to pick the New England Patriots to go to the Super Bowl.
Oh, you just threw me for a loop.
Okay? So relax. And I'm going to hope to God I'm wrong. In fact, before I go to bed, I'm going to pray that I'm wrong. And you know why? Because of the NFC, I'm picking the Philadelphia Eagles to go to the Super Bowl.
You better hope the Pope set a really good blessing for Sam Bradford's knees on that one, then.
Hey, like I said, I'm going to bed. And I'm going to pray I'm wrong. But this is my gut.
Are you just going to kill yourself during that Super Bowl?
Patriots over Eagles by 35.
Yeah.
I hope you're right. With the flapping wings.
If I'm wrong, I mean, the AFC is considerably weaker than the NFC.
Yep.
Right?
No doubt.
With the exception of the Patriots, you take them out of the equation, the AFC is abysmal.
So here's my Patriots are my dumb pick. You have to pick Patriots. Angry Brady, Peyton's down. The Colts are still phony.
They have no defense.
My backup, Cowboys over Colts. I gotta do it.
No, I think that's pretty. I think that's a fair one.
I don't know, dude. Packers.
I can't pick the Cowboys because I don't want to put the kibosh, right? But Packers, the Packers without Nelson, without Cup, I think Devontae Adams will step up. I pick him in fantasy. Like I love Devontae Adams, I love Eddie Lacy late, and I love them in Green Bay. But I'm not sold on their defense, and I'm not sold on them getting 12 wins in the regular season. They have a tough schedule. They have to play a lot of top teams because they came in first last year. But I'm going to go with Patriots over Eagles by a million.
They say defense wins championships, and the only team that I'm thinking that out of like basically the top strongest four from last season that has a good D is Seattle. Like the Colts might score 1 million points, but they might give up 2 million because they have absolutely no rush defense. Like
I saw them play live last year, and they were terrible.
Me too.
They lost 44-7 to the Cowboys. They already gave up. Dude, they were. I went to the Ravens Patriots game, but the Colts are so phony. Like I'm just
No kidding.
So that's why I can't pick against the Patriots in the AFC.
Yeah.
Denver's not going to beat them.
I hope you're right.
Buffalo going to win the division.
I'll pray you're right.
I don't think the Patriots can lose to any of these teams at home.
yeah, if Buffalo wins the division, I'll lick Rex Ryan's feet.
Oh.
All right, boys.
All right, hey, that's it for the show. Be back next Thursday. Hopefully they'll have this up by Friday morning. If not, it just should pop up right now.
Go Pats.
Any last words?
Go Pats. Revenge tour, baby. See you
Chris
tomorrow.
Mortensen lies!
Fire Goodell.
We'll see you later tonight, actually. It's past midnight. We'll see you later tonight.
All right.
Peace, boys.
Peace.
Yeah, boys.